And boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm for Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today, what I do bring in here, it is ONINAKI. So ONINAKI, it is a game developed by a developer team called Tokyo RPG Factory. And who the hell are these guys anyway? So these guys are the developers of games like I Am Setsuna, that was actually developed for PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and also, alright, PC. So and for today we have here ONINAKI, but actually they also released another game before, that was The Lost Sphere, that wasn't released on the Xbox, but it was also released on Switch, Windows and PS4. So, but okay, let's get back to ONINAKI, which is what you are here for. So for today I'm testing these on my system, my HD 7850. This graphic card, it is pretty much equivalent to an R7 265 or an R7 370. It is paired up with my Phenom II X4, which is a little bit old, but oh my god, it is completing 10 years old by now. By December it's going to make 10 years old, and it's still running some of the games that are coming out. So it is still surprising, but none of the less I'm going to upgrade to Ryzen later. Alright, so let's take a look on the graphical settings. So judging by the title I mean, you clearly notice that I'm playing the game maxed out 60 frames per second, as you can see in here, completely maxed out. I'm using VSync because the game locks at 60 frames per second anyway, so I just use VSync because it looks more smooth than without it. So let's take first a look into the requirements. So the game asks for a Ryzen 3 1200, 4 gigs of RAM and an R7 260X. The R7 260X, it is slightly slower than the HD 7850 or the R7 260X, 65 I mean, or the R7 370. They say that these minimum requirements are for 720p 30 frames per second. On the recommended side, they say that you need an i5 6400, a Ryzen 8 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 950, which is pretty much equivalent to what I have in here. And they say that these recommended specs are for 1080p 30 frames per second. But judging by the results that I have in here, it is completely fake, because with the maximum settings 1080p with this system, I'm able to get 60 frames per second pretty much all the time. It was just a slight stutter in there that gave me 58 frames per second. There is a big headroom in the graphic card, and you can actually look to the MSI Afterburner on the upper left corner. The graphic card, it is at 55%, 54, so it means that pretty much half of the graphic card it is available to sustain the 60 frames per second. There is a huge headroom in here to hold on to this performance. So that's why I decided to try 1440p. And even at 1440p the game plays mostly at 60 frames per second, but unfortunately it does drop many times below the 60 frames per second during special effects or cutscenes when you have lower camera pans which overview the entire scenario. When this happens, well, it actually drops the frame rate, unfortunately. But nonetheless, I do recommend you to go with 1080p unless you have a 1440p screen. But if you have a 1080p screen, just go with 1080p. You don't need to use VSR to amplify the resolution, because the performance will be great. So the requirements are, in my opinion, completely fake. I know that forward into the game, it might be much more demanding, alright? It is completely normal with much more effects and stuff like this, but having 40 to 50% of graphic card available to sustain those 60 frames per second, it is a lot. Unless the CPU can't really hold on to those 60 frames per second, I believe that the graphic card will show us no issues. The game also uses less than 4 gigs of RAM, so if you are still rocking 4 gigs of RAM in your system, I believe you will be entirely okay with it. Alright, so that's all for the performance of ONINAKI. So now about the game. Well, I'm no reviewer, that's most of the things that you should know. I'm not the guy that should say that, oh, I recommend this game, oh, I don't recommend this game. I'm not that type of guy. But I'm the guy that done a little bit of investigation into the game, and one of the things that really looked a little bit bad, it was the price. So they are asking for $49.99 for this game. This is pretty much a full price release of most games. Alright, so it is a little bit too much in my opinion. And judging by the comments that Steam users have been leaving, well, it is not really that good. I mean, 70% of the people are really satisfied with the game, alright? But some others are not really into it, because they say that the story, it is kind of bad, and that demo, which is currently pretty much the first levels, the demo time, it is actually really good. But they say that forward and forward, the game starts to be downhill, and not being interesting at all. So, you are warned about this. That's what I want. Is it is the game, it is expensive, and not all the people are satisfied. So buy this game with caution. Make sure that you are really knowing, that you really know what you are going to buy. Alright? So I guess that's all that I want to talk about. ONINAKI performance, it is covered. That's what I'm here for. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video. That will be more or less 5 minutes to 6 minutes of gameplay. So hope you keep enjoying it. And I really hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
世界渡りするぞ。もっと強くなれるはずだ。
国家が使えるわ。 封印を解く。
癒し光を使う。世界を変えるか。